All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all glory, and all honor to Yahweh. All right, Shalom. By Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Makakodash. Double honors to our apostles, a great millstone that rule with honor and with diligence. Honesty, brothers out there pushing this truth and love and sincerity to wake up the elect. Peace be to the elect and their families, those that change according to the word. Calling on the names of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai in time of trouble. We say, peace be unto you. May the Lord have mercy on you these evil times that we're living in. And, these are definitely evil times that we're living in. And, you brothers and sisters out there listening and learning, may the Spirit continue to be with you and keep you all and your families. And, this is just a lesson that, was just on my spirit to do. Comfort thy heart, hey, that's hey the shalom to the brother for thy light affliction, which goes along with the topic. Hey, shalom to you brothers and sisters on the comment board. And we have to consider, not allowing ourselves to slip beyond the too far beyond the depths of depression, the depths of doubt, all those things that come to, you know, weigh on our spirit, those things that come to, press on us. We have to really be in the business of building ourselves up. And Lord's will, through this lesson, I'm going to show a very powerful video. You know, we have to really, give ourselves these pep talks. There's something out called affirmations that people do. Certain people do these affirmations to, build their spirit up to, kind of like, keep the negativity away from them. And it's because it's like a real popular thing out there among people. And like we have affirmations too. It's called prayer. It's called prayer, and faith. But you know, speak positive spiritual influences over your life, man. Speak. You know, faith. Speak hope. You know, speak discipline. Speak uh, consistency. You know, speak those things over your life, man. Don't allow yourself to get too uh, 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 negative minded. You know, and the Elder Ariala in Dallas always does videos about mindset, and mindset is very very important in this truth, man. You know, because if you allow yourself to be depressed, you're really not in the best spirit to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because hey, we supposed to be excited, you know, especially in these times, man. The time is short, man. No, time is short, and then I know brothers catch hell and go through things that are uh, uh that add certain feelings that stir up certain emotions in you. You deal with certain things, and we know that things ought not be, you know, the way they are now, and we deal with certain things in this life that vex us, man. But we have to build up a fast recovery time in our vexation, man, because holding on to your vexation can lead to you being in a depressed state. The scriptures already told us what the world was going to be like. We already, you know, we already knew like this time was going to be real evil and messed up. And right now, all the evil that we're experiencing in our life is affirming what the scriptures already said. All the things that we see happening in this world is already affirming, is just affirming what the scriptures already said. The Lord told us how fucked up this place was gonna be. You know? But I'm not gonna make this a long lesson. I'm just gonna get right to it. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 5. Salakia, chapter 14 and verse 5. It says, "He that's evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods." And you can be evil to yourself by, losing faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You can be evil to yourself by, forgetting hope. Forgetting to have hope in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Man, like you can, because if you allow yourself to get into a depressed state, then it's harder to be in a spirit to uplift other people. You know, and sometimes that vexation that we have, it comes out of us. It comes out of us, and people that don't understand what we go through, they see it as just a negative spirit, a negative, like, wow, why is he so mad? Like, what's really going on? Like if this dude got the answers, why is he so, they don't understand the vexation that we deal with, the demons that we fight, you know? So it's good to do that self work, man. It's good to keep yourself in a space where you're able to put your personal situations on the shelf to deal with this truth, to deal with this truth with a level head, you know, to deal with this truth from a place where you're not coming from your own bad experiences. Now, it's hard, it's easier said than done, but even through these hard experiences, we got the victory. In Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we got the victory, you know? So, you can't let things weigh on you too heavy to where you become unfruitful, where the fruits of the spirit begin to be muffled by your vexation, by your pain, your hurt. And then, while you're wallowing in your sorrow, another brother may need help, may need your spirit, for him to heal. And if you're stuck in this bad place, if you're stuck in this dark place where you're like, fuck it, fuck everything, I don't care, you know, then it does take away from your spirit, the healing part of your spirit. And it can add to, other brothers' sorrow, because we're all connected. If one of the brothers in the camp, his father just passed, and like, I didn't really know his father like that, but I feel his pain because that's my brother. I feel what he's going through. You know, and we don't like to see each other suffer and go through things. But that seems like that's all we see sometimes. Seems like brothers be catching hell, man. But it is what it is. The Lord is doing this thing. He's toughening us. He's making us stronger. You know, through certain situations that we deal with. But it's important for us to be able to have a space where when we come and approach this work, we can set our own personal sufferings to the side and deal with this truth from a level, a place where you're level minded, you're level headed. You know, because some people actually need a word to build them up. Some people actually need you to have that positive spirit and influence on them when they're going through their trials, you know. And I used to, when I was young in the truth, like that, like when you the scriptures speak about, how when we ate the roll, it was sweet in our mouth, but in our bellies it became bitter. And that bitterness is the sufferings that comes along with the truth. The sufferings. People that used to love you, hate you now. They speak bad about you now. If you had a nice job or a decent woman, you lose your job. Your job starts to downsize. Your woman leaves. You got children. Your woman takes the children. And people that ain't even in the truth suffer these things. But we suffer these things. When you suffer these things in the truth, it's like when you're young, and you don't really know the scriptures like that, you be like, man, I thought this was supposed to make my life a little better. But when you read the scriptures and the scriptures say, hey, he that come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, you know? And the scriptures speak about how the Lord chastised those whom he loved. And then, you come into this truth and, you commit acts that are, scriptures say all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. There's none that doeth good and sinneth not. So, you come into this truth and, you may do something that the Lord doesn't agree with, and the Lord will punish you for it quick. And it seems like you're suffering more than people that are in the world. you know? So, a lot of times we get down on ourselves. We're real hard on ourselves. That spirit of doubt tries to creep in and put a foot in the door and take up space in your mind, man. And you got to rebuke that, man. You just got to keep doing what you got to do, man. But I'm gonna play this video, man. I saw this video, somebody sent me this video, and I thought this was a real powerful video, man. Let me make sure the volume's not too high. I'm gonna play this video real quick. Let me prove it. Come here. By the way, did you mind being on camera? No. All right, you cute. So. Physiological effect, whether you're aware of it or not. But that's why when you say, ooh, he's such a pain in the neck, you wake up with a stiff, painful neck. Make yourself strong. You're going to resist. Okay, resist. Okay. If the subconscious, if it thinks that something is positive, he'll stay strong. If there's something negative, he'll go weak, and he won't be able to help himself. So let's prove that. Say the word positive. Resist. Say the word negative. Negative. Resist. Yeah, I thought that was a very powerful video. She told him to say the word positive, and he was able to resist. But as soon as he said the word negative, it created a different physiological response. He lost strength. As soon as he said the word negative, he got weak. So that shows you the power of mindset and how we're supposed to think and how we're supposed to build up ourselves. Because if you're constantly thinking negative things or having negative emotions or thinking, well, maybe I'm not a man of the Lord, you're only attacking yourself. But, we have to get to the point where we can build ourselves up in this truth. We have to, hey, man, I tell brothers in the camp, hey, man, sometimes you got to be your own cheerleader. Sometimes you gotta hype yourself up, man. And that proves it, man. That proves it. Like that video right there, when I saw that, I was like, man, whoo, I gotta really, I told myself I got work to do. Even though I know these things, but I still, we still all got work to do. Because we're constantly bombarded by negativity consistently. And it's like the fight of that can be real tedious, you know? But, you know, if you're constantly, building yourself up, you have a level of resistance to keep fighting, man. But if you beat yourself down alone with the world, then your resistance, your level of resistance, your level of motivation, it wanes. And you begin to become weak, and you begin to become a target for other demons to come. Oh, this guy's weak over here. Let's go attack him. So you got to strengthen yourself through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You got to strengthen yourself, man. You know, I'm gonna read this scripture, and that's gonna be the end of it. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 30 and verse 21. It says, "Give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel." It says, "The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days." And it's hard to be joyful when you're constantly bombarded by the vexation of this life. But it's worth it. It's worth it to find joy and peace, because we know that, hey, this life is good, short-lived. Eventually there will be salvation. Eventually there will be sin no more. We just got to endure for a little while. Verse 23, "Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there is no profit therein." That's why they say that stress is the number one killer. Because when you have stress, your body begins to break down. It begins to wear down. Your body recognizes that as a maybe we should just stop. Maybe we should just start breaking down and die. But when you have joy, you get more energized, you get more strengthened. And we're supposed to have joy, because everything that's happening, everything that we've been reading in the scriptures for years, some of us that the Bible said was going to happen, it's happening now. So we know that the time is a lot short-lived than what it was. We know that the coming of the Lord is soon, man. Hey, they talking about bombing Iran. I remember when that wasn't even a thought. But it's being talked about. I remember the only thought of that was the apostles teaching it. About the valley of decision of the Yahweh Shaphat. It says, "Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow far from thee, for sorrow hath killed many, and there's no profit therein." It says, "Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time." It says, "A cheerful and good heart will have care of his meat and diet." See, when you understand that the Lord called us into joy, and the Lord called us into freedom, then it should be a lot more easier to release those things that come to try to attack you and keep you down. It should be more easier to let shit go. And it's a consistent work. But over time, your spirit becomes more relaxed and calm. Your spirit, you understand that, hey, these things, this is just Satan doing this thing. But it's all good. So, hey, like Apostle Rakan say, it's just another day at the office. But make sure you're not just allowing yourself to be beat down by this world. Hey, this world ain't the end all be all. We're hastening the day for a kingdom wherein dwelleth righteousness. Well, we're not gonna have this level of suffering. We're not gonna be living from check to check in the kingdom of heaven. Not to be worried about these pedophiles and all the so-called white man ruling over us, all the nations being over us. Well, we gonna rule with Yahweh Shai, man. We don't have to worry about a goddamn thing, man. And we're coming into the end of this kingdom. The end of this kingdom is approaching very, very fast. The Lord is hearing our cries, our prayers. You know, the Lord is hearing us, man. So rejoice, man, that the Lord is making moves. Hey, I've been in the truth. This will be my 19th year in the truth. Well, yeah, this will be my 19th year in the truth. I came in the truth in what, '07? You know? And you know what is it, 2026? So this will be my 19th year in the truth. And you know, sometimes I get vexed in the spirit, but when I get vexed, you know what I do? I think about the apostles and how long they've been in the truth. You know, and then I get cut. I be like, damn, I'm up here talking like shit like a bitch. I ain't been through, you know, half the shit Apostle Tahar been through. You know, I ain't been through, you know, a fraction of what they've been through. They was in the truth when it wasn't camps everywhere. You know, so you got to learn to comfort yourself. You got to learn to build yourself up, man. You know, but I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna play that part of this video one more time. Make yourself strong. You're gonna resist. Okay, resist. Okay. If the subconscious, if it thinks that something is positive, he'll stay strong. If there's something negative, he'll go weak and he won't be able to help himself. So let's prove that. Say the word positive. Resist. Say the word negative. Negative. Resist. Yeah, so remember, hey, build yourselves up in these times, man. Through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Have faith, man. I'm gonna read this scripture right here. Hey, the water taking heed thereto according. It says, Jeremiah 10:19, woe is me for my hurt, my wound is grievous, but I said, truly this is a grief, and I must bear it. You know? You know, and then when you think of things that way, you know, like in that mindset, you know, we know why we're going through these things. We know why we're suffering these things. You know? The Lord gave us all the understanding we need to understand why things are the way they are. You know? And even though it's still vexing, you know, even though it's still vexing, hey, we still got to do this work. We still got to have enough strength to serve Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And at the end of the day, you know, we can't let nothing separate us from this work, man, from this ministry. You know, so hey, that I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Kakodash, double honors to our apostles, honor to you brothers out there pushing this word. Shalom.